Obi nyawae Ain't susifa utibiye bodero Narewoku sunsun.
As at 2011, more than 50,000 street children lived in Accra alone, a figure which is likely to double by 2015 if the situation is not addressed. Life for street children is dangerous. Each day presents the looming possibility of teenage pregnancy, social vices, drug addiction, deprivation of the right to education, and health problems. Poverty, parental neglect, and broken homes are the usual reasons given for streetism. Yet, there's another reason which is rapidly resulting in children as young as 6 abandoned on the streets. A learning disability is a processing disorder which affects the ability to understand or use language, and it may result in difficulties in listening, thinking, speaking, reading, writing, spelling, and mathematics. Specific learning disabilities are often called hidden disabilities. It cannot be seen from the outside when a child has, for example, a reading disorder. Often, neither the child, family, nor teachers are aware that there is a disability. But more and more often, when parents realize their children are not learning at the same rate as their peers, they're turned out onto the streets. In the heart of Accra, an oasis of hope has sprung up for street children with learning disabilities. It is not considered a shelter, but a transitory point where these children are identified, educated, and reintegrated into their natural society. The Special Attention Project started in 2008.
The one who actually did start this program used to work with another NGO called the Catholic Action for Street Children. And then while they were working with the children who are also street children, they realized that some of them needed some more time per their rate of absorption of concepts. And so that was how come the idea of giving children additional attention, teaching children individually, looking at their strengths and their weaknesses, and then sort of fashioning out key programs to meet the needs of each individual child, not as a group, but then focusing on the individual, and then what can be done to meet the needs of each individual, as it were. For now, we have roughly 150 children, but on a daily basis, we are talking about an average attendance of between 5 to 20. That is an average. Because they are on the streets on their own, they do move. They may hear of an event happening, let's say, around the airport. They move there to go and enjoy themselves for a day or so. Then they come back. Within time, some of them also go to their various towns and villages. And then they come back. Other times, you have the police, also the law enforcement agents, also sometimes chasing them. And so they will move from Kaneshi to a place where they think is conducive for them. Some of them are also occasionally involved in some petty offenses, and so they would like to relocate to get to an area where nobody knows them, and then they will be there for some time, and when they think that the issue is cooled off, then they come back. So that is why we have our attendances fluctuating on a daily basis. All of them have families, contrary to some opinions that people think that the street children are orphans. From what we have seen, 95% of them are not orphans. They have families, and the first thing that we do when we come into contact with them is to get in touch with their families, to send them to the families because they are supposed to be with their families. And then we try to find out what happened that caused them to come to the streets. But the most interesting thing is that sometimes you realize that some parents or some families are not willing to even see their children again. They are not willing to. We have situations where we send children from here to Kumasi, almost spending the whole day. You get there, and then you have found a child on the street, and you think that this child should be reunited with the family. You are happy that you are getting to the home. You get to the home only to be faced with only sort of a mob attack. They are not willing to receive that child. Some are not willing to go back to the mainstream school because they go to the school, teachers do not understand them, teachers do not understand their peculiar needs, and so they keep beating them. And then when they come home, their parents are always making comparisons. You see, you are old, your junior brother or sister is able to make progress at school, but you are not. And so they think, they see themselves being led down by their family as well. And so they quit. When they come to the street, nobody judges them. Nobody queries them. They do things, and they have people who accept them on the streets. We are looking at specific learning difficulties. That is our area of expertise. When I talk about specific learning difficulty, it is not a general learning disability. What we mean by specific is that the child only has a problem in an area of his or her learning. It could be, say, mathematics, English, the child is doing well, all the other areas. But when it comes to numbers, the child cannot conceive numbers. And so then it happens that why are you able to do this and that, but you can't do this? Then it is attributed to either laziness or an unseen hand, witchcraft, sort of. And so teachers will say, okay, look at the classwork. The child is able to do, the child reads well, but when the child reads, the child doesn't understand what is being read. Or the child reads one word here in the first line, the same word in the second line, the child forgets. So we are looking at children who have problems with reading, writing, spelling, mathematics, coordination, visual perception, hyperactivity. That is what teachers cannot handle. And a lot of teachers, because of hyperactivity, would rather send the children to a secluded area in a class, sort of isolating them, which aggravates the problem. We spend a lot. These kids, when they come in the morning, we have bathing facilities for them. So they come to bath, they wash their clothes, we give them clothes. You see the hangings. And very often they throw them away anyway because they are on the streets. Afterwards, we give them breakfast. So we feed them, we give them breakfast. Before they come to class, we have a lot of teachers. They are supposed to reduce the number. We don't allow one teacher to handle more than, let's say, five of them. Because handling one child here is like a whole classroom. We have resource teachers who are also coming in to do beadwork, drumming and dancing, cookery. They learn how to prepare food for themselves. These resource teachers will also have to be paid. We give them lunch. And then we occasionally take them out. We have computers for them to learn how to also use the computers. And so basically, people from the US and then the Netherlands are funding this program. And that is one thing that we also keep saying, that we are appealing to our fellow Ghanaians. The children need help.
It hasn't been easy, and some parents are unappreciative of the group's efforts.
Nobody really is born stupid, and people have reasons why they do things. And we don't just have to attack the behavior, but find out first why that behavior. And once you do that, you are close to helping these children. It's difficult to reintegrate these children. You know, when a child spends just a day in the streets, he becomes a different person altogether. Because over there at the streets, in the streets, it's a free life. You wake up, you do whatever you like, even as a child. The survival instincts, they learn to survive in the streets, and that's what makes them very difficult to reintegrate on the part of the children. But also on the part of the children, of the parents or the caregivers, they also don't understand what is happening to these children. I tell them that they shouldn't attack the negative behavior of the children because they are doing all those things to call for attention. What do you expect a child that cannot learn in school and is always being beaten? Sometimes they cannot really tell what they want as children, so they put up negative behaviors. And sometimes it's difficult for parents to understand these children. So reintegration has not been very smooth, but we have some few success stories. We've been able to reintegrate some of these children, and they are back in the mainstream and they are doing well. So the children with specific learning difficulties are our target. And my work as a social worker is to identify these children in the streets and bring them over here to get to the classroom to get individualized education. Usually, there are children that are a little bit behind when it comes to education. They have dropped out of primary school, let's say primary 5, but they are yet still struggling to write their names or even write the English alphabets. So I identify them, bring them here to get into our education program, and then I send them home and educate their parents or their caregivers about why the children dropped out of school and what they can do to help the children to stay at home. These children are children, I would say, that need some sense of belonging, and I think they lack that thing at home. That's why they drop out in the first place. It's difficult to, for them to agree with you. Sometimes you want to take them home and they are not ready to go. You have to negotiate, renegotiate with them. Because they don't sleep with us, it's also very difficult to track them. Sometimes you might be looking for a child over here in Kaneshie and they are already at the airport area or the CMB area. In the streets, it's like there are adults over here in the streets and they know what they want. And these are some of the few challenges. Once they know you want to take them home, they will run away because they are not ready. There was one particular child that it took me years to reintegrate. The mother kept crying that the child can never come home. But in the end, the child came home and she became the champion of our parents' workshop. When we come to the workshop, she will encourage other parents that were crying that they've done everything they could. They tell them to be patient that the children will come. And for me, those are some of the success stories. It's difficult because the children have given up on home and the parents have also given up on them. But to be able to bring them together, so I've seen quite a few of them, and that encourages my work.
But good work is its own reward.
I spent 1 year teaching, the normal setting of teaching we all know about. But after I came here, I realized that not like being in the class, given a topic, and anything goes. Do you understand? Yes, the setting of teaching was different. We have few children, we tackle them, not one very topic. Per the child's problem, we tackle it bit by bit and then we help. So it's different from the school setting we know about. You feel like you are part of that child's, let me say, well-being. Sometimes the parents just come and then most of the children, most of them are able to go back to school. The teachers give us feedback on how they are doing because we have we have training for some of the resource teachers in those very schools. So when they come, we get the feedback. I feel happy inside. And that, most of the times you are just out and then you just see a child, say. So where are you now? What is going on? The child tells you and then it's happy. I just feel happy. I don't know what to say, but it's an interesting feeling.
I never ever thought I would be a speedball. But my parents at that tender age, they never listened to me. I saw my progress when I was at class 3. I saw that was academically good. But they did not give me that cognizance. So in order to prove to them that I can also be of my own, I tested it on my own. I had the opportunity to I started at Ashley's Business College and I completed at Wesley Grammar School from 2002 to 2005. I left Wesley Grammar 2005. And from 2005, first writing my SSC, the last paper, my father died. So after my father's demise, 2008, I was about to go to IPS and my mother also died. So 2009, I had the opportunity to go to Sudan Polytechnic and I completed 2012. I just finished my national service and I came back to serve my street needs. I was one of them. Why can't I still go back to them?
As for the children, they are grateful they've been given a new lease on life.
My name is Paul Alpetia and I'm 14 years old. I live with my parents at Odoko. I was stubborn in the house. That's why I came to the street.
You were stubborn in the house, so your parents said you should go, or you decided to go?
I decided to go.
Were you in school?
Yes.
What class were you in?
Class 6.
Class 6.
I was like 1 year away from school. And neglecting the teachers. They were lashing me too much. Every day, I don't do my homework. It was too much for me. For 2 weeks, I was living on the street in Kanish.
Where were you taking your bath?
Shower. At Kanish.
You were bathing in Kanish on the street?
No, shower.
There's a shower in Kanish? A public shower?
Yes.
But you have to pay to use it. So where were you getting the money?
Sometimes we go to airport and beg for money.
Why did you go back home?
Because the place I was living is not good for me. That's why I went home back. And one of my friends was coming here and he brought me to South. Here was so good and fun. The way teachers here is different from the school. I want to go back to my school, but I want them to teach me different things.
My name is
Patience, where do you live?
I live at Kaswa.
Kaswa. Are you living with your parents? You're living by yourself? Because I'm living by myself.
Living by myself.
Where's your family?
My family at Kaswa.
Your family are at Kaswa.
My family
Your parents, where are your parents?
at Kaswa.
But you're not living with them.
Yes.
Why? Were you in school?
Yes.
What class were you?
Class 3.
You were in class 3. Were they giving you a lot of work?
Yes.
The work they were giving you, was it difficult?
No.
But were you able to do it?
Yes.
All of the work?
Yes.
Then, were the teachers beating you? So you said the teachers were beating you?
The teachers are beating me.
Why were they beating you?
Sometimes I'm not going to school on time. I was working in the house. If I go to school today, tomorrow they will not let me go to school.
Who will not let you go to school?
My grandmother.
Oh, so you were living with your grandmother?
Yes, and my uncles.
Where do you get the money to pay for the shower?
I want to sell pure water.
You sell pure water. Is the money enough for you to eat? How many times a day do you eat?
If you sell one, you get one city.
Then you use the money to do what?
Okay.
And do what with it?
Then I'll buy food and eat.
When you leave here, what do you do?
When I leave here, I'm going to sleep.
What is it like when they are teaching you?
They teach me math, English, science, grammar, and play.
You like drama, eh? So that one is easy for you to learn.
And math.
And math.
And English.
The English too is easy. So why are you not going? At the end of the day, it really is all worth it.
It's been interesting working at SAP. I've really learned a lot. handling kids with learning difficulties, how to help them, how they live their life, and how they can be helped with such difficulties. I've really learned a lot, and the children are also learning a lot from me as well. In each child, there is something I love, so I don't have a favorite child in particular. They are all my favorite children. At the end of the day, I feel very happy to be part of the staff at SAP. Being with the children is very interesting, even though they have learning difficulties. But at the end of the day, after going to class, after teaching a child, after the child has understood the particular topic that I have taught the child, I feel very happy to be part of the staff.
Children with learning disabilities are not unintelligent and can make a difference in your life.
Catch your own self.